second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. From the first green flag to the final lap, we push the limits, no turning back. With the wind at our backs and the sun in our eyes, GoatLocker Racing, we'll claim the prize. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Our way on the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior, we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. So we got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. But we wear them proud to show where we've been, but we wear them proud for glory's sake. We're the heart of the storm where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Yeah, for glory's sake. In the heart of the storm, we find our way. On the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, to do or die. With the spirit of warriors, the game. In the heart of the storm, we found our way. On the edge of the wave, on the edge of the wild, we won't betray. In the heart of the storm, we find our way. On the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior, we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We're GLR for glory's sake. We're GLR for glory's sake. We're the outlaws on the asphalt, running wild, we'll never fall. In the shadows where the strong survive, GoatLocker Racing, we come alive. We're brothers and sisters bound by the code. In the heat of the battle, we lighten the load. From the dirt to the track, we stand our ground. With a roar like thunder, we shake the town. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. From the first green flag to the final lap, we push the limits, no turning back. With the wind at our backs and the sun in our eyes, GoatLocker Racing, we'll claim the prize. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Our way on the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior, we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. race against the computer, or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
X terms are equal, the graphs of the two lines will be parallel.
You ready to get out of here? Let's go. Come on. Lincoln Tech, the school for people who hate school.
I highly recommend it. You won't find anybody as good as Jam Printing.
Jam is a friendly and professional company that just doesn't do print to make sure that you grow and your business grows to the next level.
They are a very community-focused organization. They donate to every event in the area.
Every time I hand out one of Jam's printed materials, I get a ton of compliments, and that's the power of Jam Printing.
One thing with Jam is it is a veteran-owned company, and that really resonates with me.
Jam Printing is like no other. Their dedication to customer service is amazing.
If you're looking to amp up your marketing, Jam Printing and Promotions is the place to go.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
already. This is going to be exciting.
And we got a car restarts up. We go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go.
He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion. After a short off-season, GoatLocker Racing Cruisin Classic Wednesdays have returned to your screens on Maconi Entertainment. We're live at Daytona International Speedway, the first race of this first half of 2025 season, and it's going to be a doozy of a race with around 30 cars all set to run tonight to, hopefully for themselves, start the season off on a positive note. Dylan Coyle alongside Jeremy Briggs bringing you the action here tonight. 60 laps, and Jason Taylor, of course, won last season's championship, did it by winning the final race of the year. We've got a bit of a different schedule this time for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series and GoatLocker Racing, but we go from Daytona, the typical season opener, to Auto Club, then of course Darlington, Watkins Glen, Homestead, Iowa, Atlanta, Gateway, Phoenix, Nashville. Those are the races, 10 of them in the regular season. We'll then go to 2 round of 12 races, Charlotte and Dover, 2 round of 8, Kansas and Richmond, and then the championship race at Texas Motor Speedway in May. So this series, at least in this season, season 7, will stretch almost 4 straight months, Jeremy. I'm excited for it.
It's a GoatLocker Racing, Dylan. They not only do they do great things in the sim, but they do great things outside of the sim. It's great to be back here alongside you guys here on Maconi Entertainment. We're gonna have some great racing here at Daytona. We're just a couple weeks away from the real thing, so this will be a great preseason thunder as we get ready to go racing here. These drivers, 30 of them, are going to be putting on one heck of a show.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see all of these drivers do battle here when this race does get going. Qualifying is well underway, only around a minute or so left in it. This race is going to be 60 laps long, and of course there are no fast repairs, or I should say one fast repair at least is what we are seeing here with being in Daytona. Sometimes the Wednesday Cruisin Classic Series has 0 fast repairs, so that does keep more drivers involved in the field. We've got 3 green, white, checkered attempts, and of course Daytona under the lights. It's a beautiful looking venue, and we'll see if that is exactly the way that these drivers are going to be racing when we do load up in just a few moments. But this track, of course, is in Daytona Beach, Florida. Behind it is the Daytona International Airport. It's around 15-20 minutes from the beaches of Daytona, but you know, it is the mecca of NASCAR racing if you don't count Charlotte, and it certainly holds its spot as the only place you can start a season of any NASCAR affiliated series.
I almost get goosebumps just at the thought of the NASCAR season getting underway. I've never been here in real life, but it looks a ginormous place, and I'm excited to watch the racing here on iRacing Simulator, and this is going to be a great field of cars. Looks like we are just finishing up qualifying. We'll get the starting grid to you guys at home.
Starting on the pole is George Jewell, the Michigan native, with a 49.423. Of course, everyone flat out here. How fast you can be is usually separated by thousandths of a second, and tonight is no different. Brian Provo will be on the outside of row 1, 9 thousandths off of Jewell's time. Scott Gilroy, Charles Feltz, and Brandon Evans, your top 5, with Eddie Smith rounding out the top 3 rows. Jamie Barkis, Jeremy Gardner, Patrick Drabick, and Jacob Ellingson, your top 10, with Chance Taylor, Ryan Pendleton, your first 6 rows of drivers. Mike Kostick, Jason Taylor, last season's champion, will start in 14th. Tanner Bethia will start in 15th, while Troy Green will be alongside in 16th. Logan Sturgeon, Levi McCarty, James Kaufman, and Charles Abert, your top 20, with Yogi Velho, Blake Edel, Corinne Smith, Jesse Whittington, the top 12 rows of drivers, with Timothy Stubblefield, Timothy Wilms, Jesse Nekula, Bobby Germain, Josh Lukinvich, Charles Stevens, Michael Bennett, Jamie Perkins, your 32 drivers in the field. Everyone pretty much on back from 27 to the back. Did not take a time to qualify. They want to be in the back at least for the start of this one, but 60 laps, it is a sprint to the checkered flag here at Daytona.
I believe we will have to make at least one pit stop. We'll see how these drivers decide how they want to manage this run. We'll look at the Jam Printing and Promotions poll award. It looks like it's going to go to George Jewell this week. Congratulations to George Jewell, opening up our 2025 season with a pole award presented by Jam.
Yeah, of course. No better time to thank some of the great partners in this GoatLocker Racing series than now. Of course, that Jam Printing and Promotions Award is held by George Jewell. But of course, Cruisin Classics from Columbus, Ohio has a 56,000 square foot showroom located there. And you can always come to see their hand-picked vehicles. It's one of the best stocked collections for sale in the U.S. Of course, the primary partner of GLR's Wednesday Night Next Gen series. Of course, if you're at Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, make sure to raise a glass and hello and welcome the first race of the season. We're excited for everyone watching, not only at home, but also at Nasty's Restaurant and Bar. Other partners, Lincoln Tech, are the title sponsor of one of the spring series. They provide superior education and training to students in in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment. And of course, you're watching this all on Maconi Entertainment. It's the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. That's Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment. Go to MaconiSetupShop.com to see everything there. Of course, 60 laps, no fast repairs will be the official note there. 3 tire changes and 2 overtimes if needed. Oh, Jeremy, this is going to be a fun one.
This is going to be a blast. We got drivers with cams tonight as well. We'll be checking on these all night long. You can see those cams. We'll be riding on board with real life and virtually here tonight on Maconi Entertainment, getting ready to come to the green flag with the pace car lights off.
This is going to be a great show here. 32 drivers in the field tonight, 60 laps to figure it out here at Daytona International Speedway. The season starts now. We're underway.
As we barrel down the back stretch, getting ready to complete half a lap here. Everybody so far so good. A lot of the drivers under the main that they know they have 60 laps to get to that first checkered flag. All 32 drivers at this drafting style track will have an opportunity to win tonight. Who is going to lead lap 1 of this beginning of the 2025 season?
Well, it looks fairly sorted out in the top 3 rows of this field. George Jewell will lead this first lap. Here's the question, though. With it being a 60-lap affair, when do drivers say it's time to go and try and move towards the front?
And not only are they have to make that decision, who are they going to go with? You know, who's going to make them, who's going to help them get to the front? Who's going to help them all race long to make the right moves, be in the right place at the right time? 60 laps is the distance. If I was them, I'd be waiting until 10 laps to go to really flip that switch and go. But each driver has their own agenda. Some just want to stay up front. We'll have to see what their agendas are like, but so far so good. Looks like the bottom line right now is the most dominant line. Everybody's just kind of single file down there, about 12 rows deep. After that, they're single file.
Well, there's a move up to this top row right here. Should be, it is Evans that moves towards the front of this field. Brandon Evans started 5th in this race, and I think he may have led that previous lap. He got a great shove on the outside, and all of a sudden that outside line is chugging. Look at Brian Provo right on his rear bumper, pushing him down the backstretch.
As the Evans and Provo machine got out to that lead, Phelps and Eddie Smith went down to the bottom to try to get down there. Oh, we've got a yellow on the track.
First yellow of the race. Not a big incident here, but already drivers suffering from damage. I wonder if any drivers are going to be out of this. Timothy Stubblefield, solid run in last season's race, and Yogi Velho is out or in that wreck early. Car looks okay. We'll see if there's any terminal damage from that wreck.
We can look at this replay here momentarily. Not sure if these drivers do have faster pairs. Looks like they are saying they do. We'll take a look as we got that Maconi Entertainment replay ready to roll here early on. Looks like maybe just a stack up. Not sure if there was like a rubber band effect there, but we'll have to take another look at it.
Yeah, that was a weird-looking incident right there. It just felt like drivers not necessarily... Here's an on-board look. It was a stack up. Yep, stack up on the inside, and then you know how that works on highways, the rubber banding, all of that. It's exactly what we saw right there. Does not look like there was much damage suffered by any of the drivers involved. They're still good to go. This should be a quickie caution as well, since there are no drivers 1 lap down. So maybe we'll go back to racing on lap 6. We'll find out if the pace car's lights go off, probably going racing again on lap 7. Some more partners we'd like to thank. Hidden Wit Brewery, born from the desire to help you find a little escape from the world outside our doors. We invite you to stay a while, connect with old friends and new, and to share a plate of food while you share stories and make memories. Of course, veteran owned and the title sponsor of the Tuesday Xfinity Series. Another big veteran group is InVets, founded by veterans, for veterans, and aids in transitioning to civilian life and helping veterans focus on job placement and finding their right communities. They're the title sponsor of the Sunday Truck Series. Glove Station. Your Glove Station, we're committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. With the endless amounts of safety products in the market, we want to make it effortless, can't speak, for you to find the right protection for your needs. They're the primary partner of the Monday Night ARCA Series. Of course, Operation Valor Racing, a race team with the goal of fielding a truck this coming season in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Veteran-based and focused on helping veterans all across the racing world. The title partner of the Friday Truck Series, Red Beard Design Company from Greenfield, Indiana. They're veteran-owned and operated as well. It's a brand design and creative agency out of Greenfield, Indiana. They do a brand identity, and we will be right back.
x terms are equal, the graphs of the two lines will be parallel.
You ready to get out of here? Let's go. Come on. Lincoln Tech, the school for people who hate school.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
I highly recommend it. You won't find anybody as good as Jam Printing.
Jam is a friendly and professional company that just doesn't do print to make sure that you grow and your business grows to the next level.
They are a very community-focused organization. They donate to every event in the area.
Green, green, green.
And we are back here live. Green flag is back underway as Brandon Evans leads the way. Got Charles Feltz, Eddie Smith, Brian Provo, Ryan Pelton, your top 5 going into turn 1.
All these drivers are absolutely in this race to try and win it. Evans leading the field back to green. Charles Feltz in second place. Some drivers have been big movers and big losers in the early goings through the draft at Daytona. George Jewell started on the pole. He's back in 9th right now. And look at that, a big move down to the inside by Eddie Smith.
Big moves up here at the front of the field. We saw him get kind of strung out there on that restart. That's going to lead for some big moments here as everybody's really pushing hard. We're side by side coming through the triangle.
1 lap back to green right now. Both Evans and Smith swapping the lead of this race on the inside and outside rows. They're pretty even right now. Lots of excitement under the lights here at Daytona.
As you're riding there on board with that 6th machine of Jason Taylor, you can see how close it is up front. Oh, big shots up here at the front for that high line, trying to get going. I feel like that high line, when they can stay nose to tail, they can really carry the momentum down the straightaways. They don't lose as much speed rolling that bottom like they do, like that bottom line is, but you just got to have more cars lined up to carry that momentum as they are nose to tail on that bottom.
This is a solid pack of drivers, and really at this point of the race, with it being just over 50 laps to go, you can still afford to be a little bit patient, but once those laps start counting down, you get past the 1 scheduled pit stop in this race, I think things will be taken to the extreme here. Is that outside line a big shove, the top 4 breaking away, and that is a bit of an accordion effect that leads to a swap of drivers. Second in the outside goes to first on the inside line.
Big moment there. It looked like, I believe that was a 75 of Charles Feltz when he dove down to that inside. Not sure if he was forced to go down there with the handling of his car, if that was meant to be, but some really aggressive pushing here on that high line, trying to get separated. Still side by side here through turns 1 and 2. We are on lap number 10 of 60.
These drivers, still most of them in this top group here,
on lap 10, working through turns 3 and 4 right now. Single file through the first 3 or 4 drivers. That inside line a bit disconnected from 4th on back. The outside trying to get things moving once again.
Yep, you said it correctly there, Dylan. They are starting to have a little bit of breakaway there at the front as they're kind of really pushing hard on the outside. It's not things that are working right now as we ride on board here with the number 08 of Brian Provo. Looking at his back bumper, I believe that is Jacob Ellingson in that Lincoln Tech machine, giving him a push. As we now right on here with Jacob Ellingson, you can see now looking at the back bumper of Provo. We're right on top of this car, and it's easier to see in front of them because we're up on top. But when you're down in that cockpit, it's extremely hard to see. And at 196 miles an hour, you go down here into turns 3 and 4, in the middle of the packet, kind of like an accordion pat. And if you're not ready for it, you'll get into an incident here early on. Everybody's just going to be on their toes, and so far so good at that quick little incident here at the beginning.
On board with Ellingson as we see the rest of the field. Look at that one car trying to just kind of stay out of the way right there on that outside line. No one is a lap down. Velho is 22 seconds back, but pretty much everybody else is within this lead group. Pretty interesting stuff going on here.
I believe that was the 6th machine that bailed out. He was the second car. That was Taylor. That was the second car on the outside line that was pushing heavily. So I'm not sure if maybe he got hot and had to back up, let it cool off, maybe just try to stay out of that. Maybe just try to ride it out here for the last, until we can get closer to the end of the race as he was pushing aggressively. As that top lane seems to be fading away ever so slightly, but these drivers are getting ready just to ride it out.
Yeah, and still 2 wide right here, except for those first 6 rows. And taking a quick look to that, almost under the yellow line, it looked like George Jewell took a little peek right there. Not sure what he was looking for. Maybe he just had a bit of a twitch on the wheel. Remember, he got the pole in this race, fell back to the cusp of missing out on the top 10. But it is Daytona, right? These changes, these swings happen quite frequently, and sometimes when they do, they are completely reversed just a few laps later. Are we almost wrecking? Yes, we are! One car on its side, trying to keep everyone else out of the wall. He finally flips onto its roof, and that might be the longest slide I've seen since maybe a certain Jeff Gordon at the shootout in 2012.
I tell you what, that's unfortunately not one way that you want to land because you'll be stuck right there. Unfortunately, that is a tow to the pits. There is no fast repairs. As these drivers will tow out to try to get as much damage as they can. Down, let's take a look at this replay. So we're kind of on the latter end of this.
So it looked like, honestly, again, there was a bit of a stack up on the outside. I don't know if there was just they didn't realize, the 12 didn't realize the loss of speed right there, but just almost a bit of an avoidable incident that turned out to be a one-car massive wreck for itself, and the 12 being on the outside wall and just kind of riding it through 3, 4, and then to that short shoot towards pit road, back on down pit road, and we'll see if the 12 machine is going to be able to get things going again before this race is over. Troy Green also in 31st right now on pit road and out of the race, it appears. Everyone coming down pit road on lap 14, coming to 15 of 60. They may be able to make it to the end of this race now.
I'm not sure what happened to Troy Green there. It looks like he did lose a tremendous amount of speed. We had a couple cars that took some fuel splash earlier on. We'll see if they can take advantage of having more fuel on board to have a quicker pit stop. In and out, looks like several drivers just fuel only here.
Yeah, this is a fuel-only kind of race. You're not going to take any tires here on a super speedway. Eddie Smith will take the lead from that pit stop, and Ryan Pendleton will restart in second. Jacob Ellingson, Brian Provo, and Charles Feltz, your top 5 runners coming out of that pit sequence. They should make it to the end of this race. It might be a little bit close. They'll have to save a little bit of fuel, but as has become customary in super speedway races in recent years in the real world, fuel saving is the name of the game. By the way, a few more partners we'd like to thank. Of course, iRacing, the world's premier motorsports racing game, and it's the perfect gift for a fan of motorsports and a newcomer to sim racing is an iRacing membership. We talked about the Redbeard Design Company before we went to a quick break. They've designed all of GLR's logos since day one. So whenever you see GLR, you see a Redbeard design. How about Save 22? It's a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide amongst veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. We support those who have served our nation and communities by listening to their stories and providing unwavering support, ensuring they are never alone or forgotten. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, and educate. They're the primary sponsor of Goat Talk Live. Of course, Above the Yellow Line Media. Taylor Kitchen, awesome person in the world of motorsports. She started Above the Yellow Line in 2021. It's a podcast fueled by a passion for motorsports and a desire to build community that has led to ATYL Media, dynamic team of motorsports content creators dedicated to producing motorsports content that's fresh, informative, and fun. This is Motorsports Media, your way. Goat Talk Live is broadcast on their platform. That is a large list of partners who are involved, invested in GoatLocker Racing. We appreciate them all for wanting to be a part of the action, and the action will get going in just a few moments here as the pace lights are off.
Pace lights are off, correct, and we are double file down the back stretch. This is going to be a great restart as we're almost, I would say we're halfway to halfway right now, a third of the way through this race, and we'll see how these drivers manage their racing after this pit stop. Do they have enough fuel to get to the end? I would assume they'd probably be pretty close now, if not good to go, so we might see some drivers driving really hard right here, trying to go from the back to the front, but only time will tell as we get ready to come to the green.
I think these drivers will be fairly close on fuel. They'll have to save a little bit. 44 laps to go until the end of this race if they stay green the whole way. There will have to be some solid fuel saving for the first part of this run if they're going to make it to the end of this race. Smith, Pendleton, your top 2 drivers starting alongside each other. 3 drivers not on the lead lap. 29 currently still on that lead lap as we go to lap 17 of 60 here. 44 to go in the season opener of the GLR Cruisin Classics Wednesday Next Gen Series. Back underway, and the inside line. 2 cars connected. The outside, an accordion effect will follow.
Listen to those roar of those next-gen engines. Driving hard into turns 1 and 2. Getting the RPMs up, getting the speed up. They're already almost 180 miles an hour coming out of turn 2.
Big pack of drivers all trying to make it work down the backstretch right here. Pendleton in the lead. Provo pushing in behind. Evans trying to make some headway on the outside. He doesn't have much help, almost trying to side draft to slow that inside line down. Everyone is just gasping for air right now, trying to find a momentary break. It doesn't look like many are holding back. They're pushing early in this stint.
I must say, Dylan, I find it really interesting that, these drivers are getting out in front on these high lines and dropping back down to the bottom, and it almost kind of feels like the top line might be the way to go if they can all stay together and get into a good run, but everybody just seems to like to go to that bottom.
That inside line is elongated to the back of that shot. The outside has way fewer cars, but is doing a very solid job. We've got a wreck. You hear it first. A wreck coming off of turn 4. They saved it, and all of a sudden, now the wreck occurs. The caution comes out. Bedlam.
Well, they almost proved me wrong, and I called the wreck, and they saved it, but unfortunately they saved it as long as they could. It just did not work out for Tanabetha in the number 20 machine.
Let's take a look at the replay here on the Maconi Entertainment replay machine. It seems like yeah.
The 18 went to go 3 wide there and got everybody all sorts out of whack. I'm not sure.
Well, while we are sitting in this 4th caution period on lap 20 of 60, we are going to take a short break and come right back on Maconi Entertainment.
I highly recommend it. You won't find anybody as good as Jam Printing.
Jam is a friendly and professional company that just doesn't do print to make sure that you grow and your business grows to the next level.
They are a very community-focused organization. They donate to every event in the area.
Every time I hand out one of Jam's printed materials, I get a ton of compliments, and that's the power of Jam Printing.
One thing with Jam is it is a veteran-owned company, and that really resonates with me.
Jam Printing is like no other. Their dedication to customer service is amazing.
If you're looking to amp up your marketing, Jam Printing and Promotions is the place to go.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible.
X terms are equal, the graphs of the 2 lines will be parallel.
You ready to get out of here? Let's go. Come on. Lincoln Tech, the school for people who hate school.
Lap 22 of 60 will go back to green flag racing here on lap 23. It's going to be a little bit easier for drivers who may have been on the edge of making it to the end of this race on fuel. It'll be easier for them to get there now, Jeremy.
Easier for them to get to the end, but they got to be there at the end. We'll see what drivers decide on their aggression levels here towards the end of this race, as we are now getting closer to that halfway mark. Had a couple yellows here early on. We'll see if we get some great green flag action, as I believe it was the number 70 machine that went 3 wide in that last incident that kind of got everybody all jumbled up there. But looks like everybody's got stuff fixed. Everybody's topped off that want to top off, and we're getting ready to come back to the green.
Yeah, Jamie Barkis will be the leader when we do get back to green flag racing here. Ryan Pendleton, as he did on the last restart, will take that green flag from second place. Both Barkis and Pendleton, some solid moves up through the field. Barkis up 6 spots, Pendleton up 10. Charles Abert, by the way, he's up 12, 13 spots in this race, up in 7th, or at least on that 4th row after starting on the 10th row tonight. Some of the bigger losers, George Jewell is down in 17th place in that 9th row after starting on the pole. He might just be holding it out until the very last few laps, because you don't get points until that checkered flag is thrown. Pace car goes down pit road. Barkis takes us to green flag racing once again after caution number 4.
Barkis with a huge jump there. He'll probably start backing it down just a little bit, try to back up to this number 23 of Ryan Pendleton. We'll see what Pendleton does right here. Pendleton getting help right now from the 08 of Provo, but those two have been working working nose to tail pretty much all race long so far. We'll see if those two decide to make a move to the outside. They cannot, as that outside lane is now being covered up by the number 04 of Scott Gilroy and the 27 of Jacob Ellingson.
Ellingson is right up on the rear end of Barkis on that outside line. Drivers trying to just find their bearings here as they all get up to speed on lap 1, or lap 24, I should say. 37 to go here. Scott Gilroy here is currently in P1. We appreciate everyone staying with us through some of these technical difficulties at Daytona as you're watching the first race of GoatLocker Racing's Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series in Season 7 as the 99 machine tries to lead that bottom row. Jacob Ellingson in P1 on the outside.
Ellingson getting a push from the number 7 of Charles Abert. They're making that high line work. We'll see if they stay up here on the top, as they now looks like they got the 42 on their back bumper of Bobby Germain, trying to give them help on the outside. They've got the 14 of Chance Taylor also on that high line. We've got the 99 there on the inside, trying to make it work with the 15 of Barkis on his back bumper. They got Pendleton along on his back bumper on that inside row with Provo as well. As we are now side by side for the lead here through the trial, we'll get Ellingson on the outside, getting the huge push from the number 7 of Charles Abert. Scott Gilroy right there on the inside, getting help from Jamie Barkis. They do a really good job here in the turns, because they're taking the shortest way around the turns, to make that happen. But that outside line has so much momentum on the outside down these straightaways. We'll see if they hold it, as it looks like Jermaine decides to bail at the bottom. But I feel like if they could just stay up top, they could really pull away from the field. as we continue to watch this battle up front. You got Ellingson still pulling away Aber on his back bumper. He's got Ellingson still up front here, getting a big push from Charles Aber.
Yeah, that is a massive push right there for Ellingson on from Abert right here. That top line, 4 cars, all single file, but like the ebbs and flows of a typical super speedway race, that accordion effect took hold, at least for a moment. Drivers in the mid-pack, they're starting to get a little bit more racy here, not giving each other as much room. That blocking can lead to a lack of progression through the top or the more frontwards parts of each line.
See Bobby Germain leading that bottom line. Like I said, that high line would probably work out the best, and so far it's working out like I said it would, so we'll have to continue to keep an eye on that. As Ellingson leads the way with Abert, Taylor, Timothy Wilms. A lot of these drivers we didn't talk about too often here at the beginning of the race. And now that we're almost to the halfway point, we'll see how it plays out.
Jacob Ellingson had a really solid run to end the season last year. And of course, right now, he is doing a lot of the same from the tail end of last season. Charles Abert up 18 spots in this race. Timothy Wilms, 22 spots. He's up in 4th. Bobby Germain up 22 spots in 6th. So drivers who started in the back in just under 30 laps have moved their way up through the field. And the top 6 have started to break a little bit away from the rest of this pack. But they go side by side. That's going to slow them down.
Chance Taylor in that number 14 machine made a big dive there, and it did not work as that highline continues to work well for the number 27 of Ellingson, Abert, Wilms. 07 of Drabeck now making himself present here in the top 5, and number 20 making a comeback as he was involved in an incident here early on as well. Got the 18 of Blake Edel here in the top 10. Scott Gilroy as well hanging on. James Kaufman, Jamie Barkus, Ryan Pendleton, Charles Phelps, Eddie Smith rounding out your top 15.
These drivers are really not as connected as I guess I thought they would be with 30 or so laps remaining in this race. Things are going to get more hectic here in just a little bit, but 4 cautions in the opening 30, or I should say 23 laps of this race might make drivers a bit more timid to attempt to move up through the field, but at the same time, who am I kidding? It's Daytona. It's the opening race of the season. You want to have a shot to win. You want to put yourself in the best possible scenario for the final 2 laps of the race. And a lot of the time, you keep trying to hold out more, hold out, just wait till the right time. But by the time you start to move forward, the right time had already passed.
And the right time could, like you said, could be the wrong time, especially with an incident happening. There's so much can happen here so quickly. You're just sitting here riding around, cruising around, and all of a sudden all heck can break loose. And right now it's all Chance Taylor with a big push to his back bumper. That was almost a big incident. Looks like sturgeon all over the back bumper of the number 14. Trying to get that inside line working, but that outside line, like I said early on, continues to work.
Yeah, that outside line has been really solid here. The inside has not been able to get organized enough to not only beat the outside in speed but in numbers. That outside line was not the line that had the most drivers in it earlier, but now it does. A little more connection between the 14 and the 26, Chance Taylor and Logan Sturgeon. They try to move the inside up a little bit more, and now the top 4 gets connected, but a bit of a mismatch there coming off of turn 4 slows them down.
A big block for the lead right there between Ellingson and Aber as they made a big move to the bottom. I'm surprised they went to the bottom as they were doing a great job leading the top. Looks like Abert was ready to lead the way, but Timothy Williams now leaves it outside line with Patrick Drabeck on his back bumper with that save 22 machine.
All it takes is one block, one mismatch to lead to all of this racing up front, heating up in a quick way. Coming to lap 34 here, 27 laps to go in the 60-lap opening race of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen season. Remember, there are 15 races in total, 10 in the regular season, a win, and as long as you fulfill the minimum participation requirements, and you're in to the playoffs. So it's a massive thing to win this race with so few opportunities to win in the regular season. 32 drivers entered into this race, most of them still in contention to win this race, especially with how crazy things get at the end of Daytona. A split. We're going 3 wide here down the backstretch, at least for the time being. I think there was a bit of a back off, a let off there from that 25 machine in the middle. He does not have any help in the sucker hole.
Looks like James Kaufman is going to get the anchor thrown right here. No help. As the 08 of Provo trying to sneak around the outside. Gets a little bit of wall action there in that Cruisin Classics machine. That hole will now open up for that 25 of Kaufman. Will now find himself, almost got into the side of Provo there. Trying to squeeze into that hole.
Not sure what Kaufman's doing. He's had the outside line open up for him. He's just falling back and back and back, and he finally gets up two against the wall as we go back to two-a-side racing. Too early to make a move down the middle there, and as we see time and time again, as another 3-wide pack might start to get formed here, you sometimes you take yourself out of race winning moves by being a little bit too aggressive. The lack of patience tends to ruin drivers' races more than anything else here on the super speedways, as we still continue to go 3 wide and even greater numbers just on the cusp of the top 10.
Looks like we got 4 rows deep of 3 wide action here now. As that high line is extremely organized, just starting to pull away ever so slightly. They're trying to get this inside lane, or excuse me, middle lane working. And looks like they're starting to dive to the back. We got the 39 and the 57 team cars in the middle trying to make a move.
Oh man, the 39 gets a little bit squirrely coming off the corner right there. They're still 3 wide. These drivers are getting a lot more antsy to go up front. Timothy Williams, 25 spots gained in this race, leads the field. That number 86 Toyota leads on the outside, the inside, and the middle groove getting bigger and getting faster as this run continues to go on. It's just a matter of time. Crash!
Still green as they continue to rock. There we go. There's the yellow. Whew, that was some great racing. That middle line was starting to make it work.
That was so close to being the perfect little bit of racing action, but you could just feel it, building to a sloppy move here or there with just, the block wasn't clear. The lane wasn't clear, and that led to, of course, this incident happening here as we check out this replay right now.
A lot going on with this 3 wide racing action. Taking a look at that replay. Looks like the 57 started backing up a little bit.
Wide for a second.
25 of Kaufman, I believe, got into his back bumper, and that's what started this, just to the outside of Chance Taylor.
Yeah, they went 4 wide for a second right there, too.
But up front, Timothy Williams right now in a good spot.
Yeah, Williams has done a really solid job in this race. Currently in P1 after leading 20 or going up 25 spots from the start of this race. Everyone coming through that front tri-oval. Will any drivers decide to get some fuel? And the answer is yes. A lot of drivers coming down pit road right now to top off on fuel, including the race leader, Timothy Wilms. I guess not all of them could make it to the end of this race. Brandon Evans, Blake Edel, Logan Sturgeon, Bobby Germain, some names that have stayed out, so not everyone has decided to come down pit road. A bit of strategy here in the late goings at Daytona.
We'll see if anybody decides tires, but we do know super speedways aren't really tire-dependent tracks. Maybe the cooler tires give you a little more traction, but a lot of these drivers must be looking for fuel. As Drebeck was the first car off pit road, 6.2 seconds in his pit stall. That's telling me that was probably just a splash and go to get him to the end.
Well, we're going to take a short break here, 2/3 of the way through the 60-lap opening event of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. We'll be right back on Maconi Entertainment.
X terms are equal. The graphs of the two lines will be
You ready to get out of here? Let's go.
That's fun.
Come on.
What?
Lincoln Tech, the school for people who hate school.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
At Daytona, lap 40, coming to lap 41 of 60, 20 laps to go when Barney the flagman throws the green flag. Brandon Evans is P1, started this race in the top 5, remains in the top 5, but 4 positions better than when he took the initial green flag. Blake Edel, Logan Sturgeon, Bobby Germain, Ryan Pendleton, James Kaufman, the top 3 rows, drivers who did stay out, did not take fuel. Will the strategy work out? Green back in the air, a big jump for Brandon Evans. How much fuel do some of these drivers have?
Looking at Brandon Evans right now, he's been to pit road 3 times, so I think he's got 1 extra stop than these drivers behind him. Not sure if maybe that was later on. He might have some more fuel than him, but he's trying to squeak it out right now, leading the field down the backstretch.
I mean, sometimes these drivers will just say, hey, there's bound to be more caution, so might as well top off every single time one is thrown and hopefully get to the end. And that might be exactly what we saw there from Brandon Evans as this race continues on. Sturgeon right behind Evans right now, while Kaufman in P3 doesn't look the most comfortable there, though. Thinking about maybe the middle line, maybe the outside, maybe the inside works best.
One of the drivers that we saw earlier on the race that was up towards the front backed out. The number 60 of Jason Taylor, the champion, trying to find himself back here in the top 5, trying to maybe start off his season in victory lane. Great fight back, putting himself in the right position, not getting into any wrecks. Right now, Blake Edel leading that outside line. Can they get organized enough and put that outside line back in a dominant form?
Top 5, top 6 now, single file on the inside. So for a large portion of the last stint, we saw the outside row grow in number and grow in strength as it went on. Accordion effect. Jewel gets into the back of one driver. They keep it steady for now. That reminded me shades of the wreck that took out Shane Van Gisbergen in the Talladega Fall Xfinity race this season.
As the field continues on, everybody's still rolling. A lot of jockeying for position down here on the backstretch. Got 3 wide there. This looks like Chance Taylor tried to make a move. Did not work out in his favor. Trying to get just a little bit of tow from that number 7 of Charles Abert. As we're now riding on board with the 08 of Brian Provo. Look behind him. You've got Blake Edel all over his back bumper and that Lucas Oil Kyle Busch lookalike machine.
There is no patience left for most of the drivers in this field right now. They are swapping positions as quickly as they can. We continue on, just laps remaining in this one. It's been a good race so far, and almost a wreck right there. Man, these drivers are not going to go down without a fight.
Trying everything they can to get that outside line. Drivers are seeing it starting to work. They're jumping right out there to be on the front. Timothy Wilms, one of the drivers that we saw earlier on in the 86 machine, leading the way. He knows exactly where he wants to be. He's back to the top, getting a huge push from Brian Provo.
Yeah, that is a massive push right there. It will slow both of them down for the time being, but they're connected, so theoretically they should have more speed than they did if they did not have that little push happen right there. But they're still running 6th, 7th, 8th. That's kind of where they're looking at right now as this race continues on in the later stages here.
More and more drivers just jumping out to the outside line last second. Timothy Williams had to really back off of there. Patrick Drabeck now leading the way on the outside. Oh, outside line just backing right up now after Patrick Drabeck jumped out there.
Look at this, some really close action between the top 3 drivers. Sturgeon was all over the back of Brandon Evans, who has held strong for now, but who knows how long that'll last for.
Everybody's being super aggressive. 14 and a half laps to go. The pay window is open. If they're in the back of the pack, they're probably just riding it out right now, hoping that the seas will part their ways and they can find themselves back up towards the front after maybe some other driver's misfortune. Woo! Looks like the 88 of Jamie Perkins getting extremely loose on the inside, but that outside line now getting formed up. Patrick Drabeck getting huge pushes from the 86 of Williams. There's a 20 got in the wall. That outside line just starting to get formed up. Can they catch up to that top 3 that have broken away?
Hearing more drivers getting into the wall right now. Top 3 broken away. For how long will they be able to stay out in front like that? I mean, these drivers are doing all they can to fight with each other for a top 5 spot. They're almost forgetting about the main goals to win this race. Top 3 is just scooting on away.
Wow, this is some really tight racing right now. You can see the aggression level has gone up. The intensity has got me on the edge of my seat here in my sim rig. These drivers are starting to put on one heck of a show.
They've surprised me for as long as they've been able to stay like this without spinning for now. I know that's a broadcaster's curse, and it'll probably happen in the next half a lap, but these drivers have done such a solid job for the time being. You just know that intensity will continue to ramp up. The 60 machine of Jason Taylor, the series champion, is catching up to the top 3. That might be key here for the rest of the field to kind of get moving as the 08s almost gets in to the inside of another drive.
Wow, these drivers have got their hands full there, putting on one heck of a show. It looks like Blake Edel got jumbled out there in the back. He's headed towards the back. He's ready to calm down, I guess. If he's going to shuffle back there, he'll just ride it out. Look at these drivers all over the place. We got 3 wide action starting to heat up. This is about when the wrecks will start to happen. Is the big one on the horizon?
You can only imagine that the big one may be on the horizon. The 86 gets shuffled out of line. That was Timothy Wilms. He led a lot of this race. He needs to get back into this draft on that 3rd outside line. Everybody here, my goodness, doing such a solid job of entertaining us in the winding laps here at Daytona. Top 7 or so, all single file. And wow, what a quick move. One driver into the outside wall, continues on, almost wrecking. They continue on. They're still making contact. How are we still green? They're pinballing around. Crash.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Wow, what some great racing that was. We're take a look at this replay. Wow, there was so much action throughout the field. We were 4 wide down the backstretch.
I can't believe they held it for as long as they did there. I mean, it was just pinballing all around here.
Felt like bumper cars out there, but man, these drivers were putting on a heck of a show. I was thinking it was like, what, 7 laps of green flag racing right there? That was some great action by these drivers. Let's take a look at the 27. Looks like the 07 caught the 88 machine.
So with this race now getting to the final 10 laps of it, we'll probably restart with, I would say, 7 laps to go. We're on lap 51 here, probably restarting on lap 54. No drivers should be coming down to pit road for anything other than damage repair. It should be that way to the end of this race. Well, this will be fun. This will be a fun dash to the end here. Lots of drivers have been in contention. And yes, while there have been a good amount of cautions, it's been enjoyable nonetheless.
It's been extremely enjoyable. These drivers their hands were full. I saw some cars sideways through the turns, lots of pushing, drivers trying to check up, trying not to run drivers over in front of them, and just according to fact. And man, that was some great racing though, and I think we're gonna have a good race to the finish.
I also think we're going to have a good race to the finish here. We've had some really solid racing till up to this point. And yes, there was a lot of pinballing right there, but they were able to hold it together for more laps than I gave them credit for originally.
Hey, and your broadcaster's jinx did not come out within that half lap. So I will say you didn't say the word yellow, so that's probably where you went right. We'll go for it.
I think there's a few different commentators' curses you can put without having to say yellow flag, such as crash, caution, wreck, clean racing. Those calamity, those chaos, those are all things that should lead to a potential commentator's curse. So mine did not end up leading to such a thing. But I wouldn't be shocked to see the pace lights come off next time by. Like I originally said, should be going back to green with 7 laps to go. Would come at lap 54 here. Lots of drivers still in contention for the win of this race. As long as you're on the lead lap, that's honestly all you need to have. And everyone, for the most part, except for some drivers, are on the lead lap. I count at least 26.
As we watch these drivers go around track, 26 drivers still with an opportunity to win this race. How aggressive can you be? Or you just wait it out and hope those seas do part the ways, like we were talking earlier on. And there's a lot to unfold here. You got to find somebody to work with. Hopefully you got a teammate nearby. It is go time, and there's only one way to go, and that's forward.
There's a few other directions these cars can go other than forward.
I've seen some sideways today on the side.
I've seen some upside down, riding up against the wall for a little bit. Some drivers, it's possible to go into the catch fence at the backstretch and just keep on flipping.
I was trying to come up with a Tony Hawk reference, but it just did not come. I tried. I was trying to brew something up, but
yeah. I mean, hey, at least
I want to say it was a kickflip, but I don't know what to call it. You know,
at least in this race, there will be no such thing as necessary catch fence repairs for any wrecks here. So we stay going on.
Thank goodness for that in the virtual world. As you can see, the field, double file down the back stretch. Pace car leading the way. What is Brennan Evans going to do to stay out front? What is Logan Sturgeon going to do to get this outside line to stay out front? We'll see how these drivers play the games when we get ready to come to green. This is going to be one heck of a finish, and we hope you're tuned in.
Very much we hope that you are tuned in on Maconi Entertainment. Race 1 of Cruisin Classics and Next Gen Series Racing. GoatLocker Racing, always putting on a good show here. Very healthy field tonight of 32 drivers that entered into this race. We have 30 on the lead lap. There is still so much that can happen, and we're about to find it all out here. Will we go 7 straight laps till the checkered without going back under yellow? I don't think we will, but hey, if we do, I've been proven wrong once. Let's see if they can prove me wrong again. Evans and Sturgeon, your front row sitters, right in behind, hoping to pounce, is James Kaufman and series champion Jason Taylor. Green flag back out into the air. Evans leads the way. A large gap has formed between Evans and the driver of the 60, Jason Taylor, but quickly Sturgeon dives just behind the 39, so that gap was negated quite quickly.
Jason Taylor takes a dive down to the bottom. He's going to try and pass both these cars with a head of steam. James Kaufman getting a huge push from behind him. Man, these drivers are really working it right here. Lots of weaving and bobbing down this back straightaway, just trying to do all they can to get a head of steam coming down to the tri-oval.
Yeah, there's no separation, no space being given here. The 25 gets shoved up the track, but saves it somehow. Goodness me, that could have been calamity. Sturgeon dives down to the bottom. He wants the lead. He has no help in behind. He's going to end up potentially losing a couple spots here. The 60 gets into the back of the 26 and starts to charge back forward on the inside, but he lost 3 spots in a single aggressive move.
Teammates Brandon Evans and Jeremy Gardner leading the way, showing the field the pace. Chance Taylor right there in the 14, just hanging out, but now we are side by side for third. Huge push coming from the number 26 as they are battling hard side by side, trying to get that inside line up to the front, trying to do everything they can to be in contention, but right now there is no help on that bottom line.
Jason Taylor and Logan Sturgeon are left out to dry on the inside line. It's all the outside line right now. In fact, the top 6 drivers are all single file on the outside line, but a bit of an accordion effect has allowed Sturgeon and Taylor, as well as the 25 machine, of James Kaufman to move back up through the field. Will they be able to do anything? It doesn't appear so for the time being. With 4.5 laps to go, Brandon Evans still leads the race. Drivers all in contention as long as you're in the top 19 at the moment. 3 lines are forming.
What are they going to do up front to get around the Evans and Gardner machine? They've obviously got their agenda set, their teammates, and Whittington with a huge dive to the bottom to pick up that 26 of Sturgeon. Oh, a big push. Almost contact.
Where has Whittington been? Oh, wreck! They crash in behind. The 87 spun off the front end of another car. And they're still wrecking in behind. Major hits. This sets up the first of 3 potential green-white checkers.
Looking at the replay, it looks like Eddie Smith was getting contact there from the 84. Looks like the 84 was making contact there into the inside of the above the yellow line media machine of Eddie Smith. Fortunately, it just kind of led to the, I guess you could say, the big one here at Daytona.
Yeah, that was actually the biggest wreck I feel like we've seen all race here. There hasn't been many that have been multi-car incidents, or at least more than 2 or 3 cars involved in an incident. That was certainly the first one that I could think of in this 60-lap race. Jesse Whittington, though, 23 spots gained. That is an incredible run for a driver that arguably was the hottest driver of the season last year, at least until he had to miss some races, lost his playoff eligibility because of it. He's right in contention to set himself up, as long as he makes the minimum amount of races, to win this race and make the playoffs from a round 1 victory. He's looked good tonight.
You are absolutely correct there, Dylan. With having a season under my belt here, Jesse Whittington was one of those drivers last season you saw usually up front and in contention. And like you said, unfortunately lost his playoff eligibility, and pretty much starting right where he finished, being in victory lane. I think he won his last race that he participated in. I'm not sure, but right now he's up front. We'll see how long he can stay up front. As like I said, we'll have a green-white checkered.
Well, there's other drivers that want something to do about that. Actually, 2 green-white checkered attempts will be made here. So if we wreck one more time before getting the white flag, we will re-rack them up and get back going again with another restart. But that would be the final one. If a caution came out at that point, race would end as long as cars kept on moving up through the field. This is going to be a chaotic restart here. I hope we can get back to the white flag on this one.
I bet you Jesse Whittington wants that just as bad. There's a lot of chaos and calamity happens at the later stages of these races. We'll have those teammates of Evans and Gardner. I believe they will be nose to tail on this restart. How aggressive will those two be to try to get themselves back up and into the lead, as their saved 22 machines were kind of left out hanging there, and now they're trying to battle back and get up to the front, and we'll be double file, I believe, next time by.
Jacob Ellingson, one of the drivers, talking over the drivers' chat right there. And Ellingson, he's had himself an interesting race, kind of up and down through the field. And right now he's down 9 spots from where he started. He's in 19th, so not exactly what he was hoping for. But hey, things can change in a quick instant as this race continues.
As we look just ahead, as we get ready for this season to continue to go underway as these drivers, I believe, come into the 1 to go signal next week. Right here at Maconi Entertainment will be Auto Club, and that'll be another great race to see. Hope that you guys can tune into that as well. But like we said, we got this one right in front of us to finish. Pace car, lights are off. The field will double up going into turns 1 and 2. Nice steady pace down the backstretch, and they'll come around for a green-white checkered attempt, 1 of 2.
Oh man, will we get back to the whites in 2 laps times, and who will take the checkered if we do? Who will take the checkered no matter what if we have another restart as well? A lot of drivers have been eligible for the victory in this race. If Whittington is able to pull it off, though, I mean, he's been quiet all night, but he's just been he's been so solid in his execution of this late charge up to P1. Other drivers, I mean, we've seen all the positive movement from drivers like Sturgeon, Jason Taylor, James Kaufman, Blake Edel, Michael Bennett even. You know, we haven't talked about him. He's up 21 spots, started 31st. He's up in the 10th now. But there's drivers who were involved a lot in the first half, first 2/3 of this race. Eddie Smith, Brian Provo, Timothy Wilms, Jamie Barkis. They are out. They're not in contention anymore. So as this pace car enters turn 3, things will change very quickly once they get back to the stripe.
Keep an eye on that number 60 machine. He's been pretty aggressive all night. Let's see what he does with the Sturgeon machine.
Pace car will peel down to pit road as we go to green-white checkered attempt number 1 here at Daytona. Season opener, green in the air. Jesse Whittington, a great jump, but he's way out in front. He's going to lose a lot of momentum and a lot of steam. He goes up to the outside to block the run from Sturgeon. The 60 also has a run. The top 3 on the outside have just went away from the rest of the pack for the time being, but the accordion effect coming in full swing, full circle. Everyone's starting to catch back up to the leader.
Right. Oh, we got a wreck in the back.
Crash happens with Whittington still as the leader. Ellingson still being sent up against the wall. He'll park it. He'll get it towed, and his race is done. And that was quite an anticlimactic restart there.
Yeah, it looks like the Whittington machine got pulled away quite a bit there. And Whittington really did a good job of getting up to that outside as we get a look at this Maconi Entertainment replay. Looks like the 27 of Ellingson moved to the middle of the track. And looks like it's scoring the 99. But I'm not sure, or it's showing the 99 on his paint scheme. I'm not sure what his actual number is, but 27 got into the 99 looking machine, and unfortunately, the Ellingson machine got the worst end of the stick as the 75 of Charles Fetz was also an innocent bystander. Scott Gilroy in the 04 on scoring that I'm seeing as the 99.
Yeah, it's just a bit of, aggression that I hate to say it, call it this, but it feels like lazy aggression, right? Drivers are still getting up to speed. It's a bit lackadaisical there. Drivers making contact. Ellingson coming up into the left rear of the 99 machine sends a few drivers just skedaddling on out of the scene of the crime, and leads to that caution.
And we'll have one more attempt to have a green-white checkered and a race to finish under green. Pace car is still pacing. Whittington still our leader. I kind of see what you mean there. We really weren't up to speed yet. It was a really early move.
Yeah, it was a quite the early move there, and it wasn't even a move necessarily for position. It was just it was almost in slow motion how that wreck started, how that wreck happened, and because of that, obviously, it led to the wreck. That takes Ellingson out of contention. Not a good way to start the season for a lot of the drivers who might be looked at as favorites as this season goes on, progresses. Daytona, it's a good way to start the season for drivers that might not have the shot otherwise at a track like, Dover in the playoffs, obviously, but Auto Club, anything like that, to race as fast as they have been, though, and to come up with almost nothing to show for it for a driver like Ellingson at Daytona is frustrating.
Ellingson was another one of those drivers that we saw last season trying to make a charge to the championship at the end. Kind of started putting his name in the picture. Was unfortunately not having a good start to the season here. Try to bounce back next week at Auto Club. I believe we should be getting the 1 to go signal here as we get ready to do our final green-white checkered attempt. And yes, the pace car lights are off. The field will double up. Whittington will lead the way again. How will he manage this restart? Did he learn anything from the last restart that he wants to do different this restart? He did a pretty good job holding that lead, so we'll see how it goes this time.
I think the strategy almost has to be the same, right? We usually don't like to see the leaders on a restart at a super speedway try to pull out to such a big advantage early on in the going here, just because when that happens, you usually get everyone in behind, just forming up very quickly to overtake you, and theoretically, that's still my opinion of what would happen. You don't want to get off to such a big start. We haven't really seen that come into play here in this race. Every restart, I feel like the leader gets a huge lead, goes up to block the other lane, and then when they go up to block the other lane, it kind of settles down pretty quickly from there. I wonder if we're going to see more of the same as this race gets back to its final restart here tonight. Whittington, this is his second restart as the leader, so we've already seen what he does once. Will he do it again?
I don't know if our producer, Marty Zacala, can grab a quick shot of it, but Jesse Whittington, he actually has damage on the right front of his car. I'm not sure if that damage is going to hurt him at all, but we'll have to see how it plays out here in the final few laps of this race, see if he can get another jump out there, but obviously any damage on the nose of these cars is huge drag.
Yeah, it does add a level of drag, but it hasn't really affected him so far as this race reaches its crescendo. Just 2 laps to go here. Final restart. Final green-white checkered attempt in the 60-lap season opener. We've extended it to lap 65. Green flag back out in the air. Whittington, a huge jump to the lead of this race, and side by side for second is the 60 of Taylor and the 26 of Sturgeon. Sturgeon, a huge bump from behind on the outside, and crash. Do they keep it stable? Somehow they do for a moment. Caution is coming out. Whittington will win this race.
And that will do it for this race. Like you said, Whittington will be the winner. Whew, he had 3 cars coming with a head of steam. No better time for Jesse Whittington to see that yellow flag come out than being in the lead.
Goodness me, that wreck was an inopportune one for everyone in behind Whittington. That's why you try and get that big jump. And because the drivers were desperate to try and get by Whittington, that's what led to the bumping and the wrecking that almost was saved, actually.
Definitely, I believe that was the 26 machine of Sturgeon, I think that might have had their hands. No, maybe it was Pendleton, excuse me. And the 25, I believe. '23. I don't know why I said 25. Sorry, Ryan. You're in the 23. As we take a look at the leader of Jesse Whittington, already looks like he's getting some congratulations bumps there from the 26 of Logan Sturgeon.
I mean, it's a well-deserved win for Whittington, even though we didn't get to see him really do much racing as the leader. He survived, and it's not like this is a shock of any sort. He is one of the top drivers in this field, and he will take the checkered flag as the winner at Daytona. And as long as he makes that minimum participation requirement, he will be in the playoffs once everything is all said and done. Checkered flag is waving. Winner is Jesse Whittington. We will be right back here at Daytona on Maconi Entertainment.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
X terms are equal. The graphs of the two lines will be parallel.
You ready to get out of here? Let's go. Come on. Lincoln Tech, the school for people who hate school.
Jesse Whittington wins the race here at Daytona. What a solid job from the driver of the 94 machine. And let's take a look at the final results here of this race. Whittington, Sturgeon in second, Chance Taylor, Jason Taylor, Brandon Evans, your top five, while Jeremy Gardner, Charles Stevens, James Kaufman, Michael Bennett, and Jesse Necula, your top 10. George Jewell, Blake Edel, Josh Lokenvitz, Bobby Germain, Corinne Smith, and Scott Gilroy, your top half of the field, Jeremy.
In 17th, there you had Charles Abert, Levy McCarty, Yogi Valho there in 19th, Patrick Drabeck in 20th, Tanner Betha, Timothy Stubblefield, 21st and 22nd, Scott Gilroy there in 23rd, Brian Pendleton in 24th, Michael Kosex there in 25th, Charles Feltz in 26th, Jacob Ellenson in 27th, Eddie Smith, 28th, Brian Provo, 29th. Timothy Williams, 30th. Jimmy Barkus, 31st. And Troy Green, 32nd.
Jesse Whittington, the race winner, is standing by in the booth with us. And Jesse, what a fantastic way to start this season. You know, we said you were pretty quiet all race, and then all of a sudden you took the lead, and a few cautions came when they did, and you kept it to the end. It was a methodical, slow moving up the field race for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. The start of the race, I got 4X on one of those incidents, just trying to avoid. Ended up getting some net code, and right after that, I ended up getting caught up in another wreck. So I had 8X like within the first 10 or 15 laps, and so after that happened, I was just like, I got to take it easy. I got to be simple with it and be smart with it, and heck, it ended up working out. I got past one of those big wrecks, and I was able to get some track position back. I ended up taking the high line. I saw the low line starting to lose some momentum, and then they gained it back, so I dropped back down low, and whenever they started coming up on me, they just picked me up and pushed me to the lead, and right after the caution came out, and history from there. But I mean, I'll be honest, I hate the way that it ended, but at the same time, that was definitely a good time to come from the back and be able to capture the win and lock myself into the playoffs this early in the year.
Well, man, it doesn't necessarily matter how they come. It just matters that those wins do come to you, as this season opener has, of course, finished. Now, I got to ask, we all know the situation last year with the playoff eligibility waivers kind of coming and then leaving your view very quickly. Does this start to the season almost like throw away everything that happened at the end of last year with playoff eligibility and says, hey, I am here to play and win this championship?
Oh, absolutely. Because like last year, I know I heard y'all in one of the broadcasts saying, I don't know why you wouldn't just get on it and at least make a lap or something. My what was it? My power cord or my power supply went out in my computer, and I was out, and I didn't even have a computer for 6 days. So I missed this race and 3 other league races that week. And so, I mean, definitely coming back this year. I told everybody from the start my goal was to come back and get some redemption, because I felt like there was a lot left on the table. And this is a good way to start it, good way to solidify coming back and trying to go for this championship, because I'll be honest, I want it. I want it bad.
Well, it was definitely entertaining to see your drive through the field tonight, and we didn't know about that power supply issue, so happy you were able to get that fixed, and hopefully that's it for your technical issues throughout the rest of the season. All right, who makes it happen for you? Who do you want to thank?
As always, first and foremost, I got to thank my wife, my kids. They always supported. My 2 daughters are inside right now with the flu, and my wife is taking care of them, and not once have I heard them complain. They're supporting me coming out here and doing this and having a good time. I'm about to go back in there and check on them. Of course, I got to throw Cypress Graphics. That's my own thing. I put it on the car this season. I think we got some good-looking cars coming to the track this year, so I'm excited to see how that works out. Focus Fuel, as always, Burt's Beat, Lichen Brewery, Luke Haley, my team over at Full Lock Racing. Those stubbed racing engines really brought out the best of us tonight. And of course, I got to throw out, for the league itself, GoatLocker Racing, Lincoln Tech, Save 22. Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and all of those people that make this league possible. I can't thank. It takes a group to make this thing work. So I can't thank all of them enough. And thanks to you guys for putting on the show for us. I can't wait to go back and watch this one and see how it looked from y'all's point of view.
All right, man. Congratulations on the victory, Jesse, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See you then. Thank you.
Not a problem. Jesse Whittington, race winner. And Jeremy, you're standing by with both second and third place. Logan Sturgeon and Chance Taylor in due time.
Yes, we certainly are. Looks like we're going to be bringing in Logan Sturgeon coming home in second place. What a great way to start off your season in that number 26 machine. Logan, what a night here at Daytona. Walk us through your night.
Well, it was kind of stressful to begin with. The checkups on the inside line were just really tough. Especially like going into 3. I mean, there was times where I was like actually hitting the brakes, just trying not to run the guy over in front of me. I kind of take a more conservative approach to super speedway races, to where I just kind of ride out back and then start making my moves towards the front. The cautions fell just right to where I had saved enough fuel being in the back of the pack to where I was able to stay out when most of the rest of the field came into pit to get gas. So that's really kind of where our race flipped, or else I don't know how tonight would have gone. So we get up to second. I was pushing Brandon, really good. The high side had no chance. Cautions fell the way they did. Jesse got in front of me, and he's a teammate from another series, so I messaged him. And I told him, just jump up top, and I'm going to work with you till the white flag, and then we'll race it out. So that's what he did. Unfortunately, we didn't get to race it out to see what was going to happen. But I'm glad that he was able to get the win, and I mean, bringing home second, I'll take that.
Yeah, that was going to be an exciting finish. Unfortunately, like I said, didn't play out. And like you also just said, second place to start out the season. You really can't complain too much about that. It's a short season, and having a good points night to start it out is always a good feeling. Who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight?
So I got to thank Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruisin Classics, as well as Nassie's Sports Bar in Columbus, Ohio. They're getting ready for the national championship game Monday, so if we're on there, OH. Alexander's PCs. I want to thank Maconi Setup Shop for providing the sets, and I want to do a special shout out to Jeff Maconi as well as Brayton Laster. Big Fish Barbecue. My barbecue sauce is going to be on Brayton's car at Daytona in February for the ARCA series. We're also signed on with him for the Toledo race in October of the ARCA Series Championship. And we're also signing on with Jeff for a couple late model races this summer. And we got even more stuff in the works. So shout outs to them for being really awesome to work with, and can't wait to see what 2025 brings us, both on iRacing, GoatLocker, all together, and as well as Big Fish Barbecue.
Great stuff to hear from all sorts of aspects, from the virtual life to the real life. Glad to hear everything's going well. Congratulations on second place, and hopefully we'll talk to you more this season.
Thank you.
That was Logan Sturgeon, our second place finisher. And we'll cap off our interviews tonight with our podium finisher, third place podium finisher, the number 14 of Chance Taylor. Started in, I cannot remember what position you started in. Sorry about that. You started in, you started in 11th. There we go. We started in 11th, worked your way up to third. It was a pretty eventful night there with quite a few cautions. What more did you really need to kind of squeeze your way up to the front? You definitely had your hands full.
At least one less caution. How about that? I hate they had to end it there under green, white, checkered. I was trying to work with Logan there to get him to the front, and if I had opportunity, I would have taken it.
Well, definitely a good way to start off your season in third place. It'll put you probably third place in the points, I believe. I'm not sure how your guys' points work with leading laps and stuff like that, but a good start to your season. Who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight, and what do you look forward to most this season?
Yes, sir. I'd like to shout out my team, Operation Valor and Above the Yellow Line here. We worked great together this week and tonight. I'd like to shout out iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, Sim Motion, and Maconi Setup Shop for providing the setups here and doing the broadcast. I appreciate it, guys.
We appreciate you being a part of this event. Hopefully we'll talk to you more this season, Chance Taylor. Thank you for your time and congratulations on your 3rd place finish.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Well, that is it for the podium interview. A very solid night of racing. Had a few cautions here or there, but overall, we had a lot of drivers in contention all the way up until the end of the night. Jeremy, your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts were we had some good racing there in the middle, and you did a good job not giving us too much of a broadcaster's jinx. But I'm excited for this 15 race season. I believe that's what it is, and these drivers are going to definitely have a great time at Auto Club. These cars are going to put on one heck of a show like they do every single week.
It will be a great time next week when we go to the recently deceased Auto Club Speedway. Fontana, fantastic racetrack, 2-mile flat old surface in iRacing. It should be a fun race to watch. You can catch it at 8:30 on Maconi Entertainment next Wednesday night. But for myself and Jeremy Briggs, I'm Dylan Coyle. Looking forward to seeing you guys all next week. It was a win for Jesse Whittington tonight, and he'll start the campaign off on the right foot in hopes of getting a bit of championship redemption. So long, good night, and good racing.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.